and greetings. This is Pastor Richard Seafried, and I'm bringing you another installment of my weekly podcast entitled Timely Truths for Troubled Times. Boy, these are troubled times. What in the world is going on in our world? For the past 4 weeks, my last 4 podcasts have all been about this terrible situation between Russia and the Ukraine, and all the horrors of war that's going on over there. And there's just nothing more that can be said to describe how awful that situation is. And truly, it's a sign of the times in which we live, isn't it? Today, I want to talk about a different topic. It's kind of related to what's going on over there, but it's also a little bit different, and that's the high cost of everything, the whole issue of inflation. They tell me now in the news that the inflation rate that we have right now is at a 40-year high, not seen since the late 70s. And some of us are old enough to remember those days, the oil shortage there during the years of Jimmy Carter, the high cost of inflation, high interest rates on everything, and boy, those were turbulent times. Inflation. Does the Bible say anything about inflation? How does that relate to Bible prophecy? Well, there's one specific passage in Revelation chapter 6 where it's describing the third seal. It's called the seal judgment. And it has to do with a worldwide famine because of a food shortage. And let me just read it. I'm reading from Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6. I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 living creatures say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see that you hurt not the oil and the wine. Couple of points I want to make here. I used to think that when I read this verse that you were getting a lot for a little bit. A measure of wheat, I thought, was kind of like a bushel. And a penny, I was thinking of our American penny, which would mean that you're getting a lot of wheat for a bargain price of a penny. And what I discovered when I did some research on this is the exact opposite. A measure of wheat in Bible times, if you look it up in a Bible dictionary, it's comparable to about a quart of our current measuring system. And a penny was a denarius. The best translation of the word penny here, denarius, that is the Roman coin that was equivalent to a full day's wages. A full day's wages, which means you would get just a quart of wheat, which would be sufficient to bake maybe a small loaf of bread. You would get that for a full day's wages. What did the typical American person get in a day? Well, even at $15 an hour, which a lot of people are working for that rate, that's $120 a day minus taxes. You're looking at $100 a day for a loaf of bread. $100 a day for a loaf of bread? Well, no wonder the world is going to be starving. No wonder there's a worldwide food shortage and famine. I mean, that's terrible. And then it specifically mentions the oil. And of course, we know that really our world today operates on oil, not just for gasoline for cars, but how many products that you don't even think of in the making of plastics and all of that is all dependent upon oil. Isn't it interesting that one of the great prophecies of the New Testament as it relates to end times says, don't touch the oil? In other words, again, a huge shortage in oil supply, and probably oil will be selling for such a record amount per barrel that nobody will be able to afford. If you think it's hard putting gasoline in your car now, You can't imagine what it would be like in the tribulation period. Well, all I can say is I'm glad that our hope is in the Lord and not in the almighty dollar. I'm glad that we have a future of being delivered from the tribulation. As Christians, we're going to be raptured up and taken out of this world before these events take place. I can't imagine living through some of these judgments that are outlined here in the book of Revelation that will take place during the tribulation period. Now, here's the irony of it all. Here's the irony. In Isaiah 55, it says, Ho, everyone that thirsts, come you to the waters, come, take, by God's grace, without money and without price. In other words, it costs nothing to be saved. It's free. God offers us the free gift of salvation through Jesus Christ. You can't earn it. You can't pay for it. And so, listen to this irony. Those of us that have done that and have accepted the free gift of salvation through Jesus Christ will never have to worry about the tremendous cost of things, the awful inflation that's going to take place in the tribulation. Well, thank God for that. The only question, dear friend, is this: are you saved? Have you accepted Christ as your Savior? Have you taken advantage of the free gift of salvation? Or have you put your faith in your money, your bank account, your investments, all of which could be gone tomorrow? Well, may the Lord richly bless you, and I hope to be back again in about 10 days. My next podcast is going to be Sunday, the 10th of April. I'm kind of doing these on an every 10-day basis now, in case you've been wondering. And so I'll see you then. May the Lord richly bless you. Have a great day.